And I was willing to go on another tangent, but it rains pain, so it's not as if I can exactly do that anymore. So we're just doing this from the balcony, so excuse the awkward shots and far away. I genuinely cannot comprehend. Oh, bird. That's the thing. I genuinely cannot comprehend the size of that satellite dish. Does this guy want like double HD? Is this guy streaming from like 78 televisions? Is that all at once or something? Because nobody needs a satellite dish of that size unless you are NASA. I wonder, why are there NFL stage lights top of a goddamn building? They're probably not NFL stage lights, but they just sort of look like it. Seems there's a crane gone. Bunch practically ancient houses. And I say ancient like they've been there for like 40 years. They've only been there for like 20 to 15 years. So I don't know why I'm saying ancient like it's been there since like the 70s or the 50s. Which, if you really think about it, probably is actually. And I've just realized up until this point that I didn't have EZQ on. Wasn't that a much smoother viewing experience with that EIS and the dynamic exposure, which I previously labeled as annoying, but I'd imagine that, as I suspected, I don't know why I said as I'd imagine, because I was right. Trying to get used to this dynamic exposure is really an acquired skill. It's been a while since I've gotten this camera, and I've seemed to have gotten used to its weird quirks and very bizarre or point and shoot, but it isn't actually point and shoot because it just sort of aims wherever. It just sort of it hardly even shoots in the general direction of like what I want to do, but I'd imagine that at actually using this camera fluently and understanding the point and shoot difficulties probably needs good hand to screen to eye coordination to camera lens, the coordination of all the elements. That's probably an acquired skill that I just have not mastered, or God knows even haven't acquired yet. Thankfully, this thing is a swivel grip, so I could. I don't know, there's water there. I can't put that. I was going to tell you that you could prop it up, I believe, Eve, to make it for much easier, stable shots if you're not there to constantly monitor it around and make sure that it doesn't fall over. Maybe you don't have anything on you to hold the camera up. You can just use a swivel grip that's originally designed for like if you have like really wonky or fat fingers. Hold the camera more comfortably. Technically, I have really thin and small fingers, like branches, so I don't exactly need a swivel grip. However, it is there for when your fingers are really fat and you can't really grip it correctly. Anyways, as it turns out, the last time I didn't have my DC plugged in, didn't I? So just stopped the recording mid-sentence. I was trying to say that it was painted some sort of ugly shade of teal, and it was over a wall, which is where the bottomless pit started, and I don't know where it ended. I guess I don't know where it ends. Actually, no, I sort of do know. Although I've never been to that area to specifically tell you about the details, but I've been around the spot to tell you enough that like what's probably there is probably like a angle downwards, or probably like a detent, to make sure or that like, I don't know. I don't know why they do that, but from the perspective, which you can see in the last video, but you can't, because the floor is wet because it rained, quite unfortunately. So as I was saying, remember the paint split? Yeah, nothing's new about it. It just feels like I need sometimes to reference things, even if they're not exactly anything new about it. It's just sort of a quirk I sometimes do. I sometimes reference things that, well, I mentioned last video, will become a recurring element for absolutely no reason. It's just arbitrarily picked. I don't even know. No, it's just how it is. Speaking of which, I should probably check the DC plug now. You know, I think that's well enough. Yeah, otherwise, I'm not going to end the video here, probably. I'm just gonna go on another tangent. But, that's the same protractor that God damn it, Zoom. It's the same protractor I was talking about when I said that it bounced in French class as the board, and like, I threw it and then it bounced right back onto me while I kept bouncing it against my friend's desk until it actually landed. And I was like, no way. Man, I wish that I had my camera on me and stuff, but I don't think they would like that. So look at that, there's some factory over there, obscured by this partially unfinished building, which has stayed unfinished for like the last year or so. I don't know why, but some things here, they just never finish. I mean, I remember that I had taken a shot of this building at the start, not the start of this video, but like way back about the first or second week when I got this camera. I took a picture of that, and I genuinely don't know if I genuinely don't know if it's evolved because my brain just completely ignores things that it disregards as completely useless information. I mean, to be fair, it is useless information, but at the same time, my brain is a sucker for useless information. All the non-essential things, like, I can't think of anything, but I do know, I do like me some useless facts that have absolutely no relation with anything and can only be dictated as a random useless fact because it's more checklist. It's more a random check, useless check, fact check. Look at all these cars. Aren't they nice? As I said, that's, I believe it's you know, like bed fluff. He sells bed fluff and sometimes bed sheets. That is a red van of mysterious origins. And this is just a parking space. But right next to it is the local auto shop with a broken down 1998, sorry, Fiat Uno. I don't know if it's still there though. Oh, I've never actually focused. Oh, bird atop of the pine tree. Might not actually be a pine tree. I'm not the biggest fan of tree identification. But what I will do is look at birds. It's the only proper way to enjoy the 34x zoom on this thing. It's to look at birds. It's a great test of the camera's reflexes and the reaction time abilities. Although I guess you can't call the camera an Olympic athlete, so seeing reflexes isn't exactly very accurate to what you could say it is, but that does not stop me from looking at birds through an interlaced lens and an excessive zoom. I mean, I could possibly spy on people people, and while I've done that completely by accident, okay, well, sometimes not on accident, but it's mostly because, actually I don't really know why, but as I was saying, sometimes I've unironically and unintentionally done that, which makes this camera like a great spy camera if your victim is doing something else, or you don't really care about quality and you just want a face or something to distinguish them from like any 7 billion people or whatever. And yeah, I'm slugged dry of tangents. I'm just gonna try and keep thinking of some new tangents while I zoom on things so that I can see where to get my inspirations from. I mean, to be fair, I could walk into the cold air and actually start recording videos from there, but I just genuinely did not want to do that because I don't know why. Laziness just sometimes gets you and you're left without words. Cause the human body is amazing. Amazing. You don't need to use language. You could just sort of you could just sort of use the figurative common sense to just sort of agree on something that could not be described with words, or not described successfully enough with words. To the point that like 45% of human communication is purely non-verbal, and it's just sort of looking at each other in a certain way, until y'all's wavelength is aligned, or whatever ever those conspiracy theorists are saying. Like, talk about some alternating wavelengths, and the eye of chakra, opening your third eye because you don't have enough karma, too much aura, or whatever else next year 2010 will introduce for us. Because conspiracy theorists, they really know how to get riled up over the smallest political or scientific event. Like, oh yeah, this is proof that Billy from 3rd grade did eat that hot dog that I specifically put for my crush, Shalena, and that's also why I started this villain arc, this villainous arc, if you will, of strictly going against Billy all my life because he ate a hot dog that was intended for my 3rd grade crush. Because I was sleeping and then God gave me a vision. Now, of course, all of that didn't happen to me because, well, I can't really give a reason here, because, see, that was an example of nonverbal communication. You could tell exactly what I was trying to say. You just sort of felt it. You just felt it. And it's just a social phenomenon. I genuinely cannot say phenomenon. And I keep saying phenomenon. I swear to fucking God, y'all piss me off. As I'm saying, it's just a social phenomenon. It's nothing spiritual. It's nothing spatial. Oh, that's a cornmeal. Yeah, that's actually next to the train station. A bird passed, but I'd assume that the Zoom couldn't catch up. Still, non-verbal communication via humans end up knowing exactly what other human are talking about. It's purely a social phenomenon, and it has nothing to do with some alternating wavelength alien shit. Then I mentioned that for like a short while during the summer, this LCD that they installed, all this school group, they installed it, and then it would just simply blare all night bright lights. Thankfully, there were no bright sounds, else else 8 billion restraining orders are made. And it used to play 24/7, so I'd imagine the reason why they turned it off is because as well, they probably still get about 7 billion restraining orders, and then another billion for annoying sounds. Actually, they probably get double if they put annoying sounds, which, as I say, is pretty bad, but it's also something. So I don't even know what I just said. That made zero sense, but blah, blah, blah. Yes, nonverbal communication. Helping you when you need it most. The problem is, only you can dictate when you need it most. I wonder what's over there. Hold on. Let me see. There was a wall here? There was a wall here, but I've never focused on this red top, gray wall house. Got a red ceiling and a gray top. I've genuinely never seen that color combo. Nor have I ever been to, or ever probably will be, in that house. There are a lot of things that I just have not been in. Despite my incessant need to be in one. My subconscious need to be in a place, in a rural area of my neighborhood that I've lived in for so long. It feels like it's like I'm unlocking a new part of the map, despite me being a seasoned player. Does that make sense? I'm not sure. Or but like, still, if it genuinely feels like you're unlocking like an expansion pack that you've been saving up on, like City Plus, the expansion pack, only $49.99 on CD-ROM. And yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here unless I can think of a new tangent. I guess the neighbors put up a flag. Or a flag no less. Respect. Anyways, it has been about 2 weeks since I've asked you to identify this tilage. Nobody has answered, which makes me kind of sad. If you're confused, scroll through the page, please. Please, I've uploaded it to both my YouTube profile and my MySpace profile, so please do check and advise. Do check and advise. Or I guess, do check and, not really advise, more just tell me. Hold on. Why do they have a satellite dish? Why does a school group need a satellite dish? That is so random. Like, what are they doing? Transmitting live television? Receiving live television? Because, no, satellite dishes only receive television information. Oh, that rhymes. Television information. Still, satellite dishes only receive. They don't send signals out. So, I wonder, what could they need that for? Also, speaking of what could they need that for? Oh, I just stepped in. Okay, thankfully it's dry. I put my hand on what started as wet during the recording, but it eventually dried up. I can't see it, but there's a large green oblong gas canister hidden in a shack next to a rusted ladder and a few other miscellaneous rusted tools. I wish I could get closer, or the camera could pan down enough. Wait, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. We've made it out onto the field with no spillages, surprisingly, so we are good.